I like put it tighter this time. So
You knew?
I did. So I'm gonna say this out loud.
Also, new skill of today is me learning how to record Zoom. I failed the first time. This is take 2, and it will be very useful to get another half-hour session. This is life. Learn alongside me. Always press record.
You just can't pretend or you can't claim to be a beginner anymore.
Right?
You don't have that excuse.
My lovely friend, what's the skill you're gonna teach me?
So today, we're going to do a little sliver of some Filipino dancing. We are doing a dance called Binoyugan. This specific dance is from the Pangasinan province in the Philippines. And we're doing a dance that's a fairly simple story, traditionally danced by women, where they carry water from the mountain or from wherever water source home in clay pots, which actually I have both of them here. And
cool.
so what's different about these, see, this is good, we'll get some more little tidbits now. What's different, so these are called banga, and we balance these on our heads with another little piece here that acts as the foundation. So you put that on your head first, which is why Morgan and I have our hair in ponytails so it doesn't slip off. And so with these pots, these are clay. My mom, for the ones that are black, funny enough, her clever thing, both for aesthetic purposes and safety purposes, was to put black electric tape around the whole thing, so that in case it did fall, if it cracks, it won't shatter everywhere. And if it cracks, it'll just have a crack in it, and you know that that pot is broken because you traditionally do the dance in bare feet. It's kind of like the secret stage things that you do, but I doubt, and anybody who's like a purist with the traditional art form would probably find this offensive. It falls into that category. So yes, the story is that we carry water on our heads. In another suite in another part of the Philippines, they're used in another dance, actually a few other dances. The one that I know of is Rag-Rag-Sakan. And in those other dances, they actually stack multiple pots on top of each other, and they balance them up to like 10 on their head at a time. And they're like, the bottom one will be a big one, and then it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So for today's purposes, we're also doing beginner level. We're only doing one.
That's so impressive.
Oh yes, very much so. And like it's like a very much a status thing, even like within dance culture, that you work your way up to being, it's the princess in the story who balances all the pots. But that's for a different story in a different region. So for today's story, it's more light and fun, and we are focusing on balancing pot, a clay banga on our head.
Not light either. They got some heft.
Yeah, which honestly it's easier when they're heavy, but it means that the risk is higher. So Morgan has her paper mache version.
And what I learned last time, it's easier if you put more weight in. So
yes, especially a bunny. So we're gonna just jump right into it, get her on. Like I said before, if you need to you can play around with squeezing it to make it fit better and stuff. Often these will actually be made to shape better to your head, because all of our heads are shaped differently.
So do they get custom made for each person?
Essentially, yes. Yeah, they can be accommodated to each person's head. Okay. So let's just start. Let's just do some basic waltzes back and forth to get it back in our body. And again, it's a constant struggle between making it look really graceful and easy, and I'm having a great time. This is so much fun. I could do this all day. But also from my tailbone to the top of my head, it's barely moving at all in this region of my body. So this is very still. It's great for your posture. Make sure we turn in circles, and we can practice from standing, going to kneeling, maybe for even kneeling onto our sides a little bit, get a pose. Yes. See, you're already a pro.
So the level of grace though?
Yes, that comes with years. this is 20 years of doing it, so don't worry. Yeah. Actually, my mom would make me practice piano with a banga on my head so that I would be getting good piano practice while working on my Filipino dancing, while working on piano.
So like, do you ever get like really tight in your neck?
You know what? I think I would, but when I would do this all the time was when I was young and having like a sore neck wasn't a thing yet. So if I did it more now, I'm sure I would, you know? Yeah, exactly. Okay, shall we take it off and do some of the choreo?
Yeah.
Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And put it down. 6, 7, 8. Side to side. 1, 2, 3, 4. And give yourself a shower. Other side. And then while we're here, little tidbit for just like, now that I know you can take the extra details. Traditionally, we'd be in a big long dress. So there's something to keep in mind with all of these movements with how your body moves in a dress like that. And we tend to stand in what is in ballet world, fourth position. So if you can see me, like a lot of this stuff happens in fourth position. So when we're behind the pot, there's something about, especially in these really traditional dances, they lean into the like femininity of it. That's like, yeah, that's the best word I can think of for it. So there's something very coy about them as well. And you're always smiling, and they're always like, we were always told to flirt with the audience with our smiles. So just to give you a tone, it's like, it's a celebration in this style of dance. But this one, I think less hips because as you can imagine, this skirt is like big and flowy. So it's often if we were wearing a skirt, we'd actually be holding the skirt and doing like other arm actions while we're holding it. So yeah, just keep in mind that that's there the whole time. Let's do that again. Let's just go from the before from taking a shower.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. One day I'll learn what the proper term is for these.
I like taking a shower. I think it's very informative. It's helpful for everyone.
Yeah, and like it's like you know why you have your water here in your pot. Okay. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8. Repeat. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8. And we pick up our pot, and we're gonna find our happy spot on our heads so it feels right. Then we're gonna go in the corners with the wrist flicks. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, and side. 2, 3, 4 corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, side to side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, awesome. Can I throw a new move at you? It's called the sway balance. So essentially, because you have a little bit of a ballet background, right? From school. Essentially, our arms are opening up. Like, and a lot of this has a similar structure to ballet world and grace and form. So basically, our arms are opening up into second, and then bringing them in, and then open to second again, and just switch. Yeah. So depending, and a lot of this is also according to the choreographers, how they like it. I would tend to normally open from first and go open and bring it up, and then take it down and open and switch arms. Yeah. Cool. So arms are, so basically the feet, all your feet are doing are going step to one side. Sorry, I need to, no. Okay, so yeah, so you're going step, you're gonna take this foot across in front, back, and forth.
Okay, cool.
So it's open and close and point. So let me simplify that. So just cross point and open, cross point. Yeah. So don't worry about the feet too much because the arms are what will look good here, and that's all you'll really see on camera anyways.
Oh.
Amazing. See, you don't get to see my panic face. It's like up on the other one, so.
Open to the point, and then in theory, there's a few more steps within there. So,
Cool.
And this is a sway balance. So 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Now we do 4 of these. 1, open and point, open and point. Yeah. So do you want to try that with the pot?
Yeah.
There's something to be said, especially because it's your first time using balancing. Like, smaller footwork because that's more important in terms of keeping the balance of the pot, and you can like cheat it and make it really look better by exaggerating the arms so it looks like you're making it harder than it is. So just that balance move is open and hit the pose, and open and hit the pose. Yeah, and those are the moments where we really talk about like flirting with the audience, and like last time it's very like, welcome them to the party and hit your pose, and welcome them and hit your pose. And if we won't for today, but as you would gradually move on, the advanced version of this move would be, instead of just being open and pose, open, pose, we would do a turn in there. So it'd be open, turn, pose, open, turn, pose, in. Which also, yeah, anybody with any dance training, and especially like in turning, you impulsively want to spot, but you can't spot with a pot on your head. That's just the added challenge to that.
So like when you did ballet, did you find it like a retraining?
Yes and no, because I kind of did them simultaneous. And the biggest thing was that the arms are very parallel and similar, especially like in Filipino dancing, yes, because I know that you understand the language of opening from like first to second to third and fourth, it's helpful, but we don't actually use those numbers and those terms. It's just that the style happens to cross over, and it's, if anything, it's mostly the grace of it and the presence of ballet arms that are helpful, because it's almost like ballet is really helpful for the hips up, but not for the legs down. Because we don't worry about turnout. Like, yes, we say point, but it's not like a point. They don't worry about a sickled foot. So it's funny. There's like a little bit of both worlds in there. But if anything, it's mostly just like, it helps, especially with big groups and you're trying to unify everybody to look the same. That's when the language is really helpful. And but again, that's where you talk about the difference between using traditional dancing for competition and for aesthetics versus using traditional dancing to pass down story and to celebrate, which is like, we could write an essay on that for another time. Changes the intention of how you teach it and entertainment, which yes, there's crossover, but that's something that I find gets muddled over generations, and that's like a new awakening that I'm having in terms of traditional dance, and I'm trying to understand more. So yeah, we'll get into that more another time though. From here, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, side to side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, side to side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sway balance. Open and hit the pose, and open and pose. One more time. Open and pose, open and pose. And then from here is when we'll go arms to shoulders, take it down, and then we'll play with our floor work if we're feeling fancy, and give it a little roll. And so in theory, there you go. In theory, our arms in the floor work is similar to our sway balance arms, where we kind of open and closed. So if I was gonna redo that, it would sort of be like I came down to my knees, and here, once I flip over, I do a version of open and close.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So same arm action there. Okay, should we do it with music?
Yeah.
From the top, are you ready? 9, 5, 6, 7, 8. end there. Yeah, there you go. Oh, all you gotta do is hit a pose. Yes. So you can see how if you were in a competition or any performance with multiple people, one person's falling and dropping and potentially breaking is a very big safety hazard. So there are often people in the wings, like 2 people with brooms in the wings ready to run on if need be to clean up. Yeah, and because the other dance, balancing on our heads is a bit of a theme, balancing props in our heads. And the other dance that I was contemplating for today is a dance basically with a glass. It's just a glass that you bounce on your head with a candle lit inside of it. So yes, we'll when we level up next time. This is like the beginner version of that.
I think it's really cool, like how you and your fam got into this kind of dance.
Mm-hmm.
You want to share that? I think it's really sweet.
So my mom immigrated to Canada from the Philippines in 1978, and one of the first things she did here, in an effort to create community and find some people with a shared lived experience, was create a Filipino dance group called the Philippine Barangay Performing Arts Society, which still exists in Edmonton now. And basically, her and another guy started the group with only 6 young girls, and they learned how to do these traditional Filipino dances literally from books and cassette tapes at the time. Those were their resources. Eventually, the dance group grew and grew and grew. And me and my sisters all did this dance growing up. And it's been a really lovely kind of common through line that connects us to our family, but also our culture outside of that. Also because whether we liked it or not, we had to perform a Filipino dance at every single wedding or event in our family. Funny enough, I'm the only one who really stuck with it out of me and my sisters, and I ended up teaching for the group. And what I really love about it is that it's kind of, especially since like kids start doing it at a young age, it's like a sneaky way of teaching kids about culture without like sitting down and having to study it. Because all of a sudden it occurred to me in my adulthood that I know a full canon of stories and folklore from the Philippines purely through years of dance that I didn't know. It's just so deeply ingrained in me now. And on a personal note with it, I find it also super theatrical in its nature. Some of the dances like this, which are more for entertainment and to celebrate fun events, are simple stories inspired by, like you said, women carrying water from one place to another. But some of the other dances, for example, it'll be a full-on dance about a princess who has her ladies in waiting, and then there's a prince who comes, and like there's full-on stories with a protagonist and an antagonist, and with all the props we create a full set, and we have like scarves that represent the water and fans that represent butterflies, and it's really theatrical in its nature. So I really love the storytelling that comes out of it, and it's always been like a deep point of a big part of my pride in being Filipino, that this is my way of expressing my connection to this culture.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so, and thank you so much for sharing. Like, I think that, like how certain practices kind of stick with us and like infuse who we are, I think is really cool. Because like I had a similar experience with judo when I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
It was just something we were forced to do, and then it was like, oh wait, these are like very core values to like how our family runs.
Yeah, exactly. And now it's so great to be able to look back on it with the lens that we have of like we started to get into earlier about the politics around this kind of work. And there's something to be said for the innocence about just genuinely passing down culture and teaching stories and teaching it through dance. But then now it's sort of like, for example, we've now learned the term appropriation, which wasn't really a term prior to 10 years ago. And now there's kind of a whole new lens on it of like, oh, who actually created these dances, and like what should we be passing down that's really important about it, versus and going back to the roots of the actual communities of that, because we're all from different parts of the Philippines, those of us who came together to learn it, and now that we kind of have like an older, and especially because like you and I are theater artists, we have a different understanding of how we represent this kind of work. So like I said earlier, it's one of my next goals in life is to get a Canada Council grant and like spend a couple years in the Philippines and just understand the actual origins of the dances, because even though I told you a few things about this dance, I'm sure there are 100 other facts that I don't know about it, or that I maybe know incorrectly, and I would love to know what like has been passed down differently. And I think that's kind of a really exciting thing about discovering culture when especially it's brought over to a different country than where it was born.
But I think we went over our 30 minutes, but it's lovely to and
we got some extra time together, so I won't complain.
oh, dream.
Seriously, mwah, 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 mwah.
And I can see right now it recorded on 3 different spots. So we are
Amazing. Okay, well, if you do it again, like I won't complain. I'll just make you work harder every time and like level up every time.
oh, great. Also, like when you're back to such a distance walk,